Back here on Blue Ridge 11, rolling right along with our LL League football coaches show. I'm Chad Landers. Thanks for joining us as we are ready to dive into Section 3. Lots of our local teams are there, and we will start things off with the Cocalico Eagles. All right, time to check in with Cocalico head coach Bryan Strohl. And coach, we have to start with back-to-back successful seasons for you and the Eagles. You win the 5A District 3 titles in back-to-back years. Boy, you just keep making it tougher for yourself here as you go on and on to keep these guys hungry and focused. How's it going for the Eagles?
It's going well. Every year is different, though. And, we have some good amount of guys who were around and, experienced that, but also a bunch of new guys bringing on board and trying to show them the ropes and what it takes to be successful at that level. So, challenge for sure.
Well, the good news is you've had to keep doing this, so you're picking up some tricks along the way, to keep the guys focused and that's a new season and all of that. So I'm sure you're doing well at that. Also, along with this, Section 3, you guys move again. They're moving you all over the place, and we love the new Section 3. How do you guys feel about some of your new partners?
I love it. I enjoyed where we were last year, too, and ultimately, no matter where you're at, you build rivalries, and it's been tough competition wherever we are. But, in fact, all three of our non-league teams or non-league games from last year or the last 2 years are now in our section. So that was a big change, and I had to find new non-league opponents. But a lot of the teams in our section are teams we played before, in Section 2, before the Berks merger, and I played Conrad Weiser for a couple years before that, too. Fleetwood's totally different, but otherwise pretty familiar territory, even though it's a change.
Yeah. All righty. Eric, I know you're ready to get in here. Go ahead and launch some questions.
You look at not only the number of kids that you lost to graduation, but, obviously starters, all-stars, so on and so forth. But the one thing that really kind of jumped out as far as coming into this season was you got to build a brand new offensive line. How has that gone from the off season into training camp and getting ready for week one?
It's definitely a work in progress, and they keep learning, keep getting better. And our offensive line coach, Coach Good, has done a tremendous job working with the kids in the off season, trying to lay the groundwork for once we really got going in the late spring, and had some good position battles. And I think the group that we'll put up there is going to get off the ball, and hopefully we'll be able to follow in the footsteps of those guys who came before them. And, with what we do, we need a good offensive line to get a push and to get to the linebackers. And, we have the confidence for sure in the group that we have. And I'm sure, there'll be some mistakes here and there. There always are. But, that's our job as coaches, try to fix them up and have them ready to go and prepared.
Well, the one guy that, I saw a little story on was Jerry McCardle that, he's moving from the wideout spot, but it sounds like he has embraced this wholeheartedly. I think the hardest thing for him is getting used to wearing a double-digit number as opposed to a single digit.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was 5, now 53. So we just added one more number on, and, he definitely embraced it. And, you don't see that wide receiver to offensive tackle conversion very often, but he was a linebacker before, so kind of not D-line, not defensive back in the middle, and he's a tenacious kid, and that's what we need. We've done it before with 155-pounders at offensive tackle, and if you have that determination, I don't care what size you are, you can be successful. So he's done a great job, and really I've been impressed with how he's picked things up and has kind of become a leader on the offensive line too. I think him and Thomas Totoli, who had started on the D line last year, I think they realized that they got to help the others along a little bit too, and they've done a great job with that.
Yeah, and you've got a special kid in your quarterback who it seems like every year is getting bigger and bigger. And I thought, well, gosh, if he had one more year, you'd put him on the line. But talk about Josh Meyer and how he has grown not only as a quarterback, but a leader on the field for the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm not sure Josh would take too kindly to adding the extra digit to his number like Jerry did. But no, Josh is He's definitely a leader for us. He's a leader in the classroom, and he's a great student, and just the way he carries himself. He's a captain. I think the kids recognize the leader that he is, and he's been through it. He has experience, and I think the kids follow that. They trust him, and he has gotten a little bit bigger, which is good. And he's going to play defensively this year too for us a good amount. So he's got to be built tough enough to make it through the season, and definitely glad we have him back for another one. And if you want to give him another year of eligibility, we'd gladly take it. So see what you can do there, Eric.
Yeah, well, I don't carry any weight whatsoever. All right, so defensively on the side of the ball, I mean, Dane Horning. Now I know Bollinger is out for a little while. Anticipating what, mid-season maybe a return?
Yeah, I think
Hopefully?
that's best case scenario.
Okay.
But that's kind of what he's shooting for. So,
All right. So talk about the rest of the defense and what you've seen and what has progressed here in the first couple of weeks of preseason.
yeah, so I'll kind of go at the levels. I mean, the defensive line. So Thomas Tottoli, who I mentioned earlier, he started there for us last year and kind of anchor us up the middle. Derek Belzins, who had played as a sophomore and got some time, did not play last year, is back out and will help us there. Rylan Jenkins, another kid who's going to be a senior, some speed off the edge. He's moved around to different positions defensively, but has really settled into the DN position. Look at those seniors to lead the defensive line with some other guys rotating in there. At the linebacker level, I think Dane Horning in the middle is pretty solid, and he can go sideline to sideline for us. And Jerry McCardle, we talked about earlier, is another guy who got some time last year when Sam was out. Would certainly be great to have Dane Bollinger out there for week one, but he's been doing a great job coaching up the next guys to step in and take his spot there too. The defensive backs, Braden Epinette, Josh Meyer, are again two senior leaders there to help put us in the right situations. And then David Betts, who played some there last year when Bryce Nash had some injuries and Braden had some injuries. It's nice to have that experience coming back there that he got a couple games in, so it's not like week one's going to be his first game starting. Brendan Zimmerman, it's another one that we look for to contribute a lot in the secondary.
Yeah, and then one other one, Braden Epinette, write up about him. And, this is a kid, you can't help but root for him. Sophomore year, junior year, gets hurt, pretty much lost for the season. Now it's his last shot. How is he physically and mentally coming into the season? And a 4.39 40? So obviously he must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, knock on wood. He's been doing great, and we just hope, like you mentioned, you hope for the kid that he can make it through and have his whole senior season, because he's lost a lot of games his first couple of years. And yes, he has natural speed, but he's also worked really hard and trained really hard to keep improving that. When a kid puts so much time into it, you want to see him reap the benefits of it. And I'd love nothing more to watch him play a full senior season, and certainly we would benefit from that as well. But ultimately, just want him to have that experience.
Yeah. And real quick, tell us about your scrimmage against Wyomissing.
It was tough. We knew Wyomissing is a quality program and has been for a while, and they lost some good pieces, but they had plenty coming back. And I always rather have a tough scrimmage than an easy scrimmage and find out, week one that you're not as good as you thought you were. And not saying our kids came into the scrimmage thinking they were better than they are, but I think they left realizing we've got a lot of work to do, on the aggressive aspect, on the communication aspect, the eye discipline, reading your keys, that kind of thing. We definitely learned plenty of stuff that we could work on this week to get better for E-Town and moving forward. So, Wyo did a great job, and it was nice for them to point some of those things out that we see now rather than later.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's a scrimmage. It doesn't cost anything as far as a win or a loss, but a great learning tool getting ready for the upcoming season. Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned E-Town in week one. We will get to that in 1 second, but I'm sure there was a chip on Wyo's shoulder after you guys handed them a loss last year. You guys played a great game. Played another good game against Ephrata in that District 3 final. I'm sure they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. We finally get the backyard brawl on the schedule for the regular season. Thank you. How does it feel to have it back on? I know I'm excited, and I'm sure both communities are excited.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to what that was last year, and I know week 7 is not going to be a district championship. Like, that's different. But I still think anytime you have Ephrata and Cocalico together, whether it's, chess or football or tennis or you name it, like, it's just a little extra when, it's somebody who's so close to you. And, I look forward to it for sure.
Yeah, I know I am, and it's great to hear. So week 1, Elizabethtown had a bit of a down year last year. What are you guys preparing for this year as you get set here in just a few days?
Yeah, I mean, so we had played them 2 years ago in the playoffs, and they had a very good team then, and I think they lost a lot of seniors going into last year, and now they have good amount coming back with experience, and they run a different style offense than we do. They'll spread you out and throw the ball around a little bit, but they also look like they want to, run some power football at you as well. So we got to make sure we prevent the big play and also, have linebackers ready to fill in there if they're trying to run it at us. Defensively, they seem very aggressive, and, we'll do our best to be ready to go.
All right, Eric, we're down to a minute left here. You have your last question for Coach Strohl?
Yeah, I guess, now you're, 5 seasons in. So what are you learning now every year as it goes by as far as head coaching? How many you talking to other head coaches, college coaches, kind of picking their brain on some things?
Yeah, I mean, you're always learning for sure. And, I love talking to Coach Wolfram, like talking to him at the scrimmage, and, somebody who has so much experience and, that I have so much respect for. And there's so many coaches in the league, and you go to clinics and things like that, and you're just trying to pick up 1 or 2 things everywhere you go. And, it's not that we're making drastic changes, but I think if you stay the same, it gets stale, it gets stagnant, and you got to keep trying to get better, both as a player, as a coach, as a teacher, whatever it may be, as a parent. So, if we want our kids to keep getting better and, keep looking for ways to improve, we got to do that ourselves too. And, not just me, but our coaching staff is always trying to tweak things and make adjustments to practice schedules, to, game planning, whatever, to try to make it as best as we can.
Well, Coach Strohl, good luck this season. We're going to have you guys on a bunch. In fact, there's this interesting little quirk in our schedule where we have you on 4 weeks in a row in the middle of the season, playing all kinds of different local teams here. So we're excited about that. I should make a programming note for everybody watching. Your game on Friday night, I'm sure it will be packed in the stadium, but our Friday Night Rivals crew will be there shooting for television. So if anybody is hanging out at home or wants to watch it back again, it'll be on Channel 4 Friday night at 7. So set your DVRs and make sure you catch that too, as our crews do a fantastic job with that. So I hope you guys have the stadium packed and people can catch that at some point. But good luck this season, and thank you so much again for coming on the program.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, and thanks as always for what you guys do. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, we'll catch you later this season. When we come back, we are in Section 3, and we're talking Manheim Central. New home for the Barons. First time in league history. What will it mean for them, and what do they have in store for us? We'll find out on the other side of the break.